Hello and welcome to the guided instructions for making this beautiful heart-shaped ring dish. My name is Diane and I work in information services with the Belleville Public Library as a library assistant. I will be walking you through how to make this dish. Let's review the materials that you will need. First, when you open your kit, you'll see the instructions on how to make the dish. Next, you'll find a package of clay. This is air dry clay. And finally, there's a heart shape in there that you can use to outline the shape of your dish. At home, you're going to need a rolling pin to roll the clay, a cereal size bowl, which will help mold the dish into a rounder form, white glue or Mod Podge to make your gesso, and paint that you will use to paint your dish after it's dried. To apply the paint, you'll need a paintbrush. And finally, talcum powder or cornstarch and baking soda to thicken the primer. Remove the clay from the plastic bag and start to roll it in your hands, shaping it into a ball. Once it feels fairly pliable, you can press it down on the table and then take your rolling pin and roll it out. Take your heart shape to see if you've rolled out enough clay. If not, you can continue. Once you've got it rolled out to a size large enough to accommodate the heart shape, you can place the heart shape onto the clay and carefully, gently press it into the clay. Once you've created the heart shape in the clay, gently pull the template out of the clay. Next, you can take a knife, a kitchen knife like a butter knife will do, and start to remove the excess clay from the edges of the heart. I remove it in sections so that I don't tear any piece of the heart that I've made. Air dry clay is fairly pliable and it doesn't dry quickly, so you have lots of time to be able to smooth out the rough edges as you're working with the clay. Now it's time to gently place the clay into the cereal bowl. Once the heart is in the bowl, you can have a look at any of the rough edges and smooth them out with your finger. You may want to take your knife and trim off some that are sticking out further than you'd like them to be. Finally, what I do is just pinch the triangular shape in the heart together and smooth it over with my finger so it's not so pronounced. The clay needs a good 24 to 72 hours to dry. Once it's dry, I take a light sandpaper sanding block and smooth out the rough areas around the edge of the dish. Now it's time to prepare your primer, the Gesso, and there are instructions for how to do that. You can use a white glue, mixed with white paint, acrylic paint, then you will add your talcum powder or your cornstarch and baking soda mixture. As you stir these ingredients together, the next thing you'll do is gradually add water. The primer is the base that you coat the clay with so that it's sealed and so that your paint will adhere to it. Be sure that the dish is covered in primer completely on the edges, the front, and the back. Now this is the fun part. You get to paint whatever design you desire onto your dish. I've chosen a gold metallic paint, a white paint, and a cinnamon brown paint. You can paint your dish one solid color front and back, or you can do a pattern on it. With my dish, I've chosen to carry the pattern onto the back of the dish, so it's similar to the front. If you want your dish to be white anywhere on the dish, I recommend that you put a coat of acrylic white paint on over the primer and not just use the primer itself. I decided I wanted a playful look for my dish, so I edged it in the gold metallic paint and used that for dots as well. In addition to the gold dots, I also added pink dots to commemorate Valentine's Day. Now this is my finished painted dish. Next, I'll be sealing it. If you want a shiny finish for your dish, you're going to want to seal it. I use Mod Podge as a sealer because I have that in my craft supplies. Another option could be clear nail polish. Once your Mod Podge has dried, you have a beautiful dish. We hope you enjoyed creating this little piece of art, and we invite you to sign up for future craft kits. Happy Valentine's Day! And we always encourage you to check out the resources in our catalog for creating wonderful crafts.